Yeah, Rabbi say Simin Tafresh Mem Hey. You start learning the dinim of the Dalad Minim.
Dalad Minim already?
Every year we're learning Shoshana Yom Kippur. We're now getting to the Yanim of Sukkot. I said this year there's so many Yanim of the Sukkot. Even we learn some Yanim of Sukkot, but we don't learn the Yanim of Dalad Minim. We learn about the Sukkah.
The Mashiach will be here with the Bet HaMikdash.
We have to know how to pick out a Dalad Minim.
We will have?
Dalad Minim, yeah, sure. Mitzvah the Torah. L'kachta l'chem b'yem harishon, yeshikaya.
Tafresh
Mem Hey. Tafresh Mem Hey, Dinei Lulav.
Tafresh
I think it's page Kuf Tzadik in that print.
Kuf Tzadik?
Kuf Tzadik Ches.
Kuf Tzadik Ches.
Tafresh Mem Hey.
Towards the ending of the Sefer.
Kuf what?
Tzadik Ches. Got it?
Okay. The page before, I think. V'lekachtem lechem b'yoyim harishon. It says in the Torah, in Parashas Emor, L'kachtem lechem b'yoyim harishon, pre-Eitz Hadar, you should take for yourselves on the first day of Sukkot, a pre-Eitz Hadar, kapais tamarim, date leaves, V'anaf eitz avis, which is the arava. V'arvei nachal, the arava which is grown by the nachal, by the stream. V'darshu chachamim expound on this pasuk, pre-eitz, sheha eitz kipuriyeh. V'tam shava. The esrog, the branch and the fruit, both have a similar taste. Ve'ez azeh esrog, this refers to an esrog, shetam eitzoi pirisham. Beis, sif beis, what does it mean hadar? Shiyana na v'hadar v'toyroi u'begeduloi. In its shape, it should be beautiful in its shape, the esrog, and begeduloi, the geduloi means in its shape, or v'toyroi means in its look. There's the shape of the esrog, the gidul. If someone says it has a nice gidul, the esrog, what does that mean? It's shaped nicely.
It's
shaped nicely.
Means it has good symmetry to it.
Right.
Yeah.
Good then there is Torah, how it looks. Does it look nice? The skin of the esrog, is it nice? So there's two.
Some Yemenite Esrog, this size. Big but beautiful. Only the Ammonite has
It's
a
like a bally.
Where did they take in Baghdad? Where did they take esrogim from?
Baghdad. I don't know.
They had their own esrogim.
I wasn't there, so I don't know.
You know, your grandparents.
I never understood what the Esrogim grow. Now, why does anybody, any planters or farmers, or why do they grow Esrogim? There's no use for them.
Oh, come on. You
You
make jam. You have fruit.
I think in other countries, in Italy, for example, I think they use it for certain medications.
Oh, that could be.
It's not. You're right. It's not a major thing, but
it's not like apples.
but in Italy, in other places, not over here, but in Italy, they use the citrus.
Mediterranean area.
10% of it, only 10% of the esrogim they are used
for food.
for medication, different things that they use it for. In the Maisa, most of it, you're right, is definitely for the Yidden. I don't think you can order an esrog in any of the exotic fruit stores here. You probably can't order an esrog in any of the stores here.
Like he mentioned the Yemenite Esrogim. The Yemenite Esrogim, it's all the peel. There's hardly any, there's nothing inside.
No fruit. Because it's hot. It has the hotter the climate, the thicker the skin.
Now, so now, we know the word hadar, that esrog should be beautiful. It says by an esrog. L'kach delchem yemishim pre-eitz hadar. Olafi Sivbei. So Lafi Shekol Arba Minim Elu Ksuvim and Pasuk Echad. They are all written together in one pasuk, the 4 minim. Hani Hukshu Zelazeh or Lemeidim Zelazeh. One of the Yud Gimel Midos Shatoyr Nidreshes Bahem, the 13 midas that we learn in Torah is Hekesh. If things are put together next to each other in the pasuk, we learn out one from the other. From here we learn out Leficha Kol Dal Minim Elu Tzichem Noim Umuhudarim, both B'Toyaram, both in how they look, B'Gidulam and how they grow, the shape. Valderech Shizbar, we're going to explain the upcoming Simanim, each Inyan, how it should look. Now this is a Chiyam in HaTorah. Chiyam in HaTorah should have a status of Hadar. It's not a Hiddur, it's not an extra thing, but the Hiddur, which are your Chayev in, is one level, and the Hiddur, which is a Mitzvah and a Movchar, an extra Hiddur, is a different level. There's certain things you're Chayev min HaTorah.
So what's the minimum?
Meaning when we learn in Shulchan Aruch, there are certain dinim how the esrog should look that is ma'akiv b'di'evid if that's not considered Hadar. It's not pshat. The Torah tells you you can take any esrog you want.
Because you go to a store
and you should just, it's an inyan to be mahadar. No. Hadar is actually part of the chiyuv min ha-Torah. You have to have a dal minim, have to be hadurim. But what constitutes no, the Shulchan Aruch will explain to us. When people are a lot of times going to the stores and looking for a real beautiful esrog, all the soigim in the store are kosher. At least 99% of them. In our markets, where we only get the top soigim over here. However, there are things to look for extra hidurim, extra mahadar, might be hadar more. But then there's what you're chayav al pidin, how the esrog should look, the lulav should look, the hadas and the rav, it should look nice. And if there's certain problems with the defects with them, the dalaminim, they're not good. They're abanan or menatoyim minhat al pidin. They're no good because hadar is a din. It's a halacha over here. Hadar is a halacha. It's not just an extra thing. The fact that it should be beautiful is a chayil. We know everything in every mitzvah you do should be beautiful. Over here, the hadar is part of the actual mitzvah.
You're saying that it's
5 days, it starts to.
That's why we get a new one.
You can, it's no.
Well, most of the times this probably is still kosher up halacha, but it's nice to be mahadar.
Yeah.
Right.
You have to buy another
Nice
2 or 3 to leave it in the fridge for.
Right.
But you're not saying it's like the Hanukkah menorah, right? Are you comparing? Are you saying
No.
the Hadar is
No. Because there it's clearly not min hadin.
What?
The mahadar min mahadrin by Chanukah is not min
But we
hadin.
took it on as the general minig.
Okay, the minig became that way. The minig, right? The minig is that way.
So now how would you compare
The minig is
this?
we do a lot of things, but over here it's pashat a chiyuv. Part of the chiyuv in Torah, if there's a certain amount of defects in it, it can be possible certain type of defects, blemishes in the dal minim
Oh, so
that
you're saying,
affect it min ha-Torah. It's no longer
you're
hadar.
saying that the word hadar means
It's from the
to
Torah.
look out for certain defects.
There's like a bare minimum.
Yes, there's going to be certain defects which passel it min ha-Torah because it's not
hadar.
it's not hadar anymore. Min ha-Torah. It's not an issue of hadar min mahadrin or hiddur. This is pashat min ha-Torah. It has to have a status.
But you just said,
But it doesn't mean that what everyone's looking for in the market, I want the most best esrog, I want to pay a few $100 for a nice esrog. That's not the hadar the Torah is talking about.
Wait, so I'm
That's
trying
an
to
extra personal
right,
hiddur.
No, so I'm trying to understand. You're saying that by Fruma Yidden, then that they're selling your esrog, you're buying from a Fruma Yid that knows what's going on. So that all probably could make a bracha. That's okay.
Right.
So what does that mean? That it has hadar in the sense of not having the blemish, which is it takes away the Indian of hadar. Is that what
Right.
you're saying?
Right? But you could always be mahadar mitzvahs more
In
and
other
more.
words, from in the store, but it's all kosher. I could look one that's more pretty.
Right.
That's already
It's an extra thing. It's an extra.
Myra means those blemishes.
Hadar in the Torah is going to mean the things we're going to learn now.
Okay. I didn't.
There are certain
minimum
things which are awesome in the Torah,
Okay.
and when that Torah determine that it's no longer hadar, but the Rabbanan it's no longer hadar.
Okay.
It's actual the concept of having, we know it says you should have a sefer Torah no, you should have everything you do should be no. Zek kelim aveyu. Kalas no, everything should be nice. Here it's something different.
Kalana.
Isnal of mitzvahs.
Kalana.
So this,
That's very subjective.
so Lamaisa,
Rabbi Yellow.
No, that's a subjective.
Not to your.
so
Yeah,
Lamaisa over
you
here,
have-
the hod is an actual part of the
That's
mitzvah.
what- If the soda there.
Gimel, Sif Gimel.
Hello, do the soda.
Kapes Tamarim.
No.
The Torah says Kapes Tamarim. What is this referring to? Zeh Lulav. It's a Lulav. Shu Gadol ala Ilin Shel Tamarim. It grows on a date tree. Mitoy Shekas V'Aloshin Torah Loshin Kapes. The Torah wrote a funny lashon here for leaves. Kapes.
That means cluster.
But like Kosva Alei Tamarim, the Torah did not write Alei Tamarim.
Yeah, thank you.
Mikan at the Lamed, here you learn Shetzara Shi Oisim Olam Ru'uyim
Thank you.
La'agdan La'koisim Ashidra. They should be roi, that they're still soft, that you're able to tie them together to the spine of the lulav. Mach Mishin Dayin Rakim. Shalilain Nichtabu Nekudas B'Torah. There's no Nekudas in the Torah. When you read the Torah, there's no Nekudas. The Nekudas are all Torah Sheval Peh. The Torah Shebeksav is no Nekudas. You can read it any way you want. Upeirushehu Kafus. Over here, we read it Kapes, but the meaning of the word is Kafus tomorrow. Kafut. It's Kafus to the spine. Avom Shah Lulav al Dekel. If the Lulav stayed on the date tree, the palm tree, Achin the skashel of case, till the leaves got hard like wood. And they separated from the spine, shekain hudarka, which that is the way and the nature of the lulav leaves. Shekol mashim isifin l'skashis, as they get strong, harder the leaves. They go further and further away from the spine. They open up. Then it's skashel kokach hachi efsha the koyis and the oigden and mashidra is that possible? If you can know they're so hard enough that you can't pull them together anymore and tie them together, that's possible in a Torah. You don't see this type of lulavim around in the store. I'm just saying, this is telling you.
That's when you have from last year in the house and it dried out, then it opens up.
Right. Siv Dalit. Avol imlei neskashu kolkach. Even if they did not become so hard, even though if you don't tie them up with a tie, they're going to stand separated, they're split apart, it's open, Afa became no kosher. I feel like kafse klal, even if you don't bind it. Shall I be the title sheirurai la kaifsa, leishi kafas mamish. She'ena la kaidin kafos, and la kapes. Since we read in the Torah kapes, therefore you're not mechuyev to make it kafos lapoil. It has to have the ability to kapes, because since you have an ability to read the word kapes kafos, has to have the ability to be able to be tied.
So this is a big cooler. It could be like a really
Minadin.
really
sticking
crummy
out, could be
looking
a-
That's right. You can come to Lord.
Like a date tree, a date. Well,
According to this, as long as it's not hard.
By the way, we're going to talk about the middle leaf
that's
later
humus.
on.
That's humus.
The middle leaf is different. We're talking all the other ones aside from the middle leaf. Sif Yud will talk about the middle leaf. But in Echanami, if your middle leaf is fine, you have a lot of, on the side, you have a lot of leaves coming out like that. As long as it's soft enough that an ingen you can bind it, it's okay. He did a lot of good Nanuim over there, so it's still good. However, Sif Hey, we call Moki mitzvah min ha-movchar. It's not the best way to do the mitzvah. The best way to do the mitzvah is Shalilita lulav sha'olav prudei zemizeh, that the leaves are separated. I feel when it's kasha klal, even if it's not hard at all. Because they were pulled a little bit from their place on the spine where they're attached. Even they aren't even hanging downwards, they're still facing up. Still in all mitzvah and muvchar to have them all. So this is gets a little different, more difficult. Now, if you want to be yoitza, the Shulchan Aruch says a mitzvah min ha-muvchar. When you choose out a lulav, you should look for a lulav that all the leaves
Or straight up.
are still straight up, they're still attached.
Like you
Straight up.
You get them on the top of the tree.
If they start, the ones on the side start to come out, it's kosher. 100% kosher. Not mitzvah mufkar.
Well, when you say come out, do you mean that they actually start to come out diagonally, or that they just start to separate? So
Start to separate.
No, because almost all of the lulavim that are sold, the leaves can separate. They're not attached to each other physically, like they're not like glued together, so to speak. There are some.
So I'm not sure. It's a good question. What's exactly the shear? It's a good question. Where do we draw the line?
No, it's not a matter of halakha. It's just a matter of your
Mitzvah mufkar.
yeah.
The question is, where do we draw the line for the mitzvah mufkar?
Only the very youngest of the lulavim are cemented together, so to speak.
Right, but they all touch each other. They lean on each other. You're right, but they're not attached. But they lean on each other. But if they're separate, they separate. That's not going to be mitzvah mufkar. Akopanim, maybe you could say that in the mitzvah mufkar itself is different levels. How close they are together.
When it does nifradu alav, that's when they actually separate diagonally. That's pasul.
No, it's kosher still.
No. If you have like you see if the full-grown lulavim, like on the palm tree, the leaves are separated. They're completely separated. They're diagonal. That's pasul.
Right. If you can no longer, like we learned earlier, if you can no longer, they're hard enough that you can no longer tie them to get back, bring them back to the spine, it's possible. But if they're still soft and they can be brought back to the lulav, even if you don't bring them back, you can have a lulav which has it like this, as long as they're soft still.
Has the potential to.
It's not a mitzvah mufkar. So here's step one. You want to look out for a lulav in mitzvah mufkar. You're choosing a lulav. All our lulavim, usually most of them are kosher. Take a look to see if the leaves on the side, before we get to talk about the middle leaf, but the sides are, the leaves are still on the spine, they haven't separated. Sivav. All of this is talking about that the leaves, that we say they're kosher if they separated, is when they're still going upwards. They're going up alongside the spine, however they've separated from the spine. Now then there's hanging down. One just hanging down, it's possible. Sivav. Hang to luyin, they're hanging down. They ain't in the oil in my shidduch, they not go up. Like the spine going up. Elam kin oigden oisim email unless you are ma'akid the lulav together. Hay lulav zeh pasul min hatoira. This is not a hodder. And not hodder to have shalula where everything's hanging downwards. Feeling like nekra olam lagai shidra, even though they're still all attached to the spine, to the shidra. Elay mechubar and imay ma'at, they're still attached a little bit. Even if you actually physically bound it together, so now they're all nicely bound together. This is not the hadar of the Torah. So it's min ha-Torah psul of hadar. Doesn't look nice. Looking nice by Dal Minim is an issue min ha-Torah. It's an issue min api halacha. It's not an inyan of hider. The concept of hider is a chiyuv. Zayin psulim alol shaval shabarno ein poisum kenin roiv alon shalulav. All these psulim that we just mentioned, hanging down, or they've separated and they are hard. All of those are only when it's majority of lulav. Just having a few is not an issue. Psulim halol shabalon shabarno sivzayin ein poisum kenin roiv alon shalulav. Unless they are the majority of the leaves of lulav. Avol miut ha'olon nasu kach. Everything goes after the majority. So you have a few on the side that are separate. It's not an issue of pi'alach. Okay. Now we're going to learn about the twins. Sif test.
That's humus, right?
Derech B'riyas Ha'olam Shalulav Kachi. This is the way.
Well, you skip ches.
I'm sorry, skip ches.
Ches, you see.
Imashidra Atzma Nishbrem Tzeisa. The actual shedra, the spine of the lulav broke in the middle. Well, the nishbra lagam l'shnei chalokim. Did not totally break into two parts. The scapul l'shnayim, it bent over. Shechei l'keli and tali lamata. The upper part is bending downwards of the lulav. Kosher, it's kosher. Mikol makim tzarich la'ogdi shem l'makim ha'kefil.
What's kefil means?
In the area where it doubled over, kefil.
Okay, okay.
Tzarich la'ogdi sham, you should tie it together l'makim ha'kefil, where it's bending over. Shalayir roishei toli lamata. Kefil is actually with a chaf. This is with a kof. It means bent over.
Bent over. So it's not severed. It's just
right.
It's like
bending over. It doesn't look too good. That's kasha pi halacha. If you, as long as you tie it back up.
How you break it if you? It's so rigid to do that. How do you
it's obviously it's like bent over. It's like it's broken a bit. It's broken, the shedder, and it's bent over. You know, you could tie it around, put some
whatever it is,
some tape on.
That's b'diavad, right? It's not minim mufcha, believe me.
Not minim mufcha, but it's a nice. It's still a kasha lulav.
When you don't have like in Europe. In Europe, you haven't had a shortage.
In Amol in Europe, this is a big issue.
The big issue was
years
one
ago.
lulav.
Now after the war, every Yid comes to shul with a beautiful esrog. Every esrog is beautiful. And Amol, they barely got. Everyone in Europe would be so excited to have the esrogim that the pasha the Yid in the shul have. They barely got. What we hear, what they had esrogim then, it was nothing compared to what we have. They didn't have night. First of all, there was no market. It was the concept of Yidden going down to, let's say, to Italy, for an example of a place, and going down to actually pick out a esrogim, the business light, going there, this didn't exist anymore. The goyim themselves, with the farmers themselves, would pick the esrogim. They didn't know anything about hidurim, and they didn't know how to grow it in a proper way to make sure it was hidden. They would take it to a faraway port, and Yidden would meet them at the port and pick it up, for it was shipped on the port. So the Yidden didn't come to see the orchards at all, for the most part. So there was no. Now the Yidden go. They show the farmers what we care about. We don't want any damaged esrogim. We don't want. So now the farmers are careful. They cut around every esrog. They treat it mamish like a baby. Every esrog they cut around it. Any leaves, the leaves of the esrogim branch can poke into the esrogim, making bletlach and blemishes on it. They cut around each esrog, giving it its space. They know how to take care of it. Not only that, the esrogim merchants they go down to Italy. There's a lot of them go down there, and they flood the place. And each one is picking out the one. They go to trees to take what they like. The ones they don't like, they don't pay for it. They go on the tree, they take what they like from the tree, and that's what they pay the farmer for. The chatchila, they're bringing beautiful esrogim over. They bring over beautiful esrogim. You hear the stories. I'm only in Europe. There were towns, they barely had one lulav an esrog, one esrog in town. So the Rav in town had it. Everyone stood on a line. They had what was called the esrog hakol. The kehila had an esrog. There was a concept of kehila she'esrog. One kehila she'esrog.
My father told me that when he was in Europe, they used to use the lulav from last year.
Wow, yeah?
They didn't have probably.
You know what?
Moroccan
Shmolik Greenwald.
Morocco.
Shmolik Greenwald.
Nice.
Shmolik Greenwald, his family, I don't know, it's an uncle or whatever, they had to do with esrogim. He told me it's very hard because you have to put up, it's like I don't remember, another fruit like an apple, like this. He once explained me that it shouldn't get warmed. It's mamish. It's hard. But you know what? My brother-in-law, Meiva Esrim, 73, and he grew up in Manhattan. I think he's talking about the Jewish Center, whatever. It was a shul where 90% of the people were definitely Bali Yechaydos. And he told me when he said, "What does it mean, a little boy? I'm thinking 10 years old or whatever, or less, whatever." He said his father and he and his two brothers were the only people that had their own esrog and lulav, and everyone else took from the shamas and they made a bracha. I mean, I'm sorry to say, but Baruch Hashem, it's not like that anymore. But
a different generation, different times.
He take down and from before then, from the 40s, in Denver. So my aunt told me also they would go. You know, there was one Minim, and the whole shul had a line up and make a brach on it. And a lady that she was pregnant went and she bit off the pippin, and then they didn't have the rest of the people behind on the line. They couldn't make a brach.
It's the gula, yeah.
I mean, the mom is happy. In Denver, like 1940 or something.
You know, the Maisa with the Baditchever, I believe Yitzhak Baditchever, the Helik Baditchever, that they had no, it was coming close to Sukkot and they had no Esrog. And he told the people of the town, he sent some people, they should wait by the crossroads. Maybe there's a Yid going by and they can get him to come to. So they found one Yid with an Esrog, and he said he paid a lot of money for it, he worked hard, so he wants to go home to his family. He Mefedish doesn't want to go stay in Barditchev. Yeah. And they said to him, no, you have to come. Anyway, so they schlepped him to the Rav, to Barditchever. And Barditchever said, we wanted him to stay, and they were offering him everything. He wouldn't want anything. He wants to go home for Sukkot, so the family wants to take his Esrog home. So finally, the Barditchever told him, I'll give you my Olam Haba if you stay. So but the Barditchever's Olam Haba already. So he decided he's staying. So he came the first night of Sukkot, after shul. He went home to where the host where he was staying. He was all excited. Barditchever's Olam Haba. He comes there, he sees the whole family eating in the sukkah, and for him they set up his meal inside the house. So he said, "What's going on?" He said that no, you're. So Barditchever said that you should eat in the house. So what happened? Sukkah's eating in the house. So he went around to someone else said, "Can I come eat by you?" No, you can't come into the sukkah. No one wants to eat and let him in the sukkah. So finally he came to the Barditchever. He said, "What is this? This is how you treat me?" He said, "Listen, if you want to keep the Olam Haba, this is the story. If you get back the Olam Haba,
you can eat.
So then you can eat the sukkah." So he thought to himself, "What am I going to do?" He said, "But not eating a sukkah like a goy. Zichir, I'm going to get back the Olam Haba. I can't be a goy and eat outside the sukkah." So he gave back the Olam Haba. So Barditchever told him, now you earned your own Olam Haba. With this Maisa that you did, I didn't want to take away the Olam Haba. I didn't want that you should get Olam Haba without the Yigiyah. So we hear that you were willing to show Mesidas Nefesh. Mitzvah Sukkah, you deserve the you were willing to give up the Barditchever's Olam Haba, so you're ready, Shin. Okay. The Maisa Zoi. Siftas. So this is the way the Lulav branches grow. They grow both opposite each other
in pairs
from both sides of the shedra of the Lulav. Every single leaf is doubled. It's a twin. The back of it is closed, it's open in the front. The lulav, if you see those twins, the two lulavs there, one side can be open, the other side is attached. It's attached, the other side it can be open. You look at it.
Yeah, but it's really closed. It has. You can
every leaf is attached, right?
Attached. It's kafuf.
It's kafuf, but one side of it is the open side.
It's
one
open,
side
one
is
sealed,
right?
Sealed, yeah.
Yeah. If majority of the lulav leaves are split. The leaves are split. They split apart.
The majority. They opened up in the front.
It opened up like this, yeah. Opened up. They're attached together.
Like this, and they open
attached
like
up
this.
Starts opening like this, right? On the top, the tip. You see, they start splitting.
Oh, you're talking about the tiumis part?
No, even at the tiumis. Every one of them. Forget about the
whole length of the leaf.
Every single lulav, yeah. The whole length of all the leaves.
And
if majority of them start to have split, majority of the length of the leaves, let's say the leaves are 100 leaves, 51 leaves, split, majority of the length, a little bit is okay, majority of the length. The majority of the leaves of lulav, nizdaku, migabon, b'makim akeful, they have cracked apart in the back, in the place where they're attached. Being in a manner shekol olam mehanechlek beroiv arkishnaim, in a manner that every leaf, majority of the leaves, have split to a majority of their length. Lulav zeh apostle l'sheini mahudar. It's not mahudar. It's not mahudar in the Torah. The Torah says hadar. That not only, and all, we learn a hekish, all of them have to be hadar. Not only the esrog.
It's the back of the leaf, right? The back of the seed.
Yeah. Not only if it's split later, even if it was created that way, it was grew that way. It grew on the branch that way, it's still problematic. It's possible. Sif Yud. This is all about the other leaves on the lulav. Kol zeh b'shar alei halulav. The rest of the leaves of the lulav, chutz me'ala ha'elyon inside the middle leaf. Ava Allah ha'elyon himsai, the middle upper leaf, shu gavayim mikolim, which rises up above all the other leaves. V'hu hanika reish halulav. That has a term. Reish halulav. Derech Allah zeli is kafu k'shar halulav. This one is also doubled like all of them. V'imloi haya kafu mitchiz b'ras is apostle. If it wasn't was born, was grew naturally without a twin, it's possible. Afilum kol al chutz den kfulim. Even all the other ones are all have twins, but this one doesn't. It's possible. And so too, if it was grew, it was originally did have a twin. And afterwards, it split to two, its entire length, and it from the top, until where the leaves come out from the spine. From the bottom part where they don't, it's one solid piece of the lulav, it's called the shedder. Possible, it's possible. So the middle leaf has different halachic status. When it comes to the other leaves, we say it has to be majority of the leaves to make it possible. Over here we have one leaf, the middle one. That alone is split. That alone makes a problem. But again, this is only if it's the entire length of the leaf. We're now going to learn a new din. The Torah told us you have to have hiddur. But for the splitting of the leaf, or the fact that there isn't a twin to it, it's not a problem because of hiddur. It's a different issue. Ela mishum shenamar balakachtem. It said in the Torah balakachtem you should take. V'dar shechacham lekicha tam of a should it be a complete taking. This top leaf is the one that a person sees when you first look at the lulav. It sticks out the most. It's always derech is to be doubled over. If it's doubled over to two, if it's split into two, the people look at it and they see it's not complete. It sticks out. Because this is the main leaf, and this is the middle one, the top one, it sticks out the most in the eyesight, and therefore, if people see it split, it's not complete. It's not complete because it's split over there. It's like missing. So this is not an issue of hiddur; it's an issue of lekicha tama. There are different psulim in Esrog.
What's the translation? Hastak, hastek.
Cracked. Where the place where it's split. When the leaf is split, entire length of the middle leaf. We get into this more now. If a little bit of the middle leaf is split, it's kosher. Right? People say, oh, your middle leaf is split. It's still kosher.
They pass it. I noticed in the store.
1 minute, it's kosher.
Yeah.
Because all this is b'diavad. B'diavad, we say that if you bought your lulav, this is what your lulav that you have, it's split, it's okay. Or you don't have another lulav, you don't need to make a bracha on the lulav of your friend on the first day of Sukkot. אבל לכתחילה מצד המובחר לאחסך אלול שנכת alle elyin klal. אלו כפול מראשי עד מוקים של ויועץ משם. Should be totally, completely sealed. When you take the lulav, look at that middle leaf. It should totally be sealed up to the very top. And if it's split a little bit, don't buy it. Because that's a lulav b'diavad. If you bought it, it's good. You bought it, it's good. You don't have to get another one. But l'chatchila mitzvah mufcher not to buy such a lulav. So you look to see that the very top, the middle leaf, is not split at all. Why? What's the reason why l'chatchila should be machmer? Because there is a shita which says that the middle leaf, even if it's split a little bit, is problematic. So, the halacha is not like the shita. If it's possible, we should be yoytze that shita l'chatchila.
But that's only the middle. The other
only
leaves,
the middle one.
Only middle.
If the other leaves, only if it's rive of the leaves are split rive of the length.
Correct.
Then it's no.
Right. Correct. By the here we're talking about split. We're not talking about being separate from the law. That was a separate issue. Being separate, we said, is always okay. Al pi halacha. Mitzvah muvcher is that they should all be kaflas to the lulav on their own.
Yeah.
But what happens if it could still be split? So this is why people are very makbid to buy a lulav which is closed on the top, because l'chatchil that's the way it's supposed to be. But with the yavid it's okay. So therefore you should take a good look at the top and make sure the middle leaf is fully closed. Yeah. Now, the leaves of the lulav all come out from the spine, the shedra. The actual goof of the lulav, the bottom of it, it's all attached together. It's one solid piece. Then it starts to split out, right? Sifyid base. What happens if the shedra, the actual spine of the lulav, is cracked? That the makim she'oleha yoitzin ulamata. Im Esrog v'sheitzidei sadek zamizat shiruk shnayim pasul. Shechasay nira v'nika sheitam v'shalom. If the split on the bottom, it's not a common issue, but the bottom of it split, the bottom of that solid piece on the bottom split in half, and you can see it clearly. It looks like it's two parts. It's attached on the top, but it's split. So then you should not. Again, it's possible because it's an issue of lakicha tam, of having complete lulav, a tmimistic lulav. There's our things which are possible mitzad hider, mitzad hodar. And things are possible mitzad lakachtem chazal doirish lakachtem tam lakicha tamah. You should have a complete. It should be a complete taking. By the way, the psul of a lakachtem is only in the first day, because it says lakachtem lechem b'yom harishon. So the first day of Sukkot is the Isser of Lakachtem. These psulim, by the way, are not problems on the later days of Sukkot. So we'll talk about it soon, but Lamaisa, if someone doesn't have, yes, if someone does...
On the other days.
Right, and the other days, it's not an issue.
Not an issue.
Other days, it's not even in a Torah.
Correct. But Midrabanan, he's supposed to have a kosher lulav. But the dinim...
If somebody doesn't have his own in the first day, it's still like the mitzvah when somebody give him.
But he has to give him matana
Matana al-Matlachzer, yeah. Yes, you tell him that? I'm giving it to you that I'm not laughing?
Yeah. Why not?
Otherwise, you won't
be yaitze.
You won't be yaitze.
Yeah, all...
Because you gave him a ton.
So yeah.
You can't give it to a child either.
Because you can't get the Kenyan from a little boy. That's why you can't buy that rubbish from a kid that's not home. Right? They sell on the street. They have big bumpers. I mean, for the first day. Afterwards, I guess you could do that. You know, you can get fresh adasa and rubbish that get dry.
say, the first day of Sukkot, this pasul, the pasul of the splitting of the leaf, is a problem. It's an issue in Torah. I mean, it splits a little bit. It's not an issue in Torah. It's just it's an issue of lechatchila. But if it splits, and it's splitting more, if it splits the entire length, then it's an issue in Torah on the first day. The second day is questionable because the second day, the question is, do we still give the second day the status of the first day because originally the second day was Sveika de Yoima? Or do we say that no, since we know the Kviyas of Yom Tiv, so only Gabe Kedushas Yom Tiv we have 2 days Yom Tiv, Gabe Lulav not. So therefore, you could take the Lulav, but you don't make a bracha on it. So then it's better to take from your Chaver and Matana Maslachsa. But after the second day, there's no shaila about it, Chol Moedim on. It's not a problem if your Lulav is split in the top.
You can make a bracha.
100%. Even if it's split all the way. Because it's not, the issues of L'kicha Tama are only the first day. L'kachta L'chem B'yom Rishon. The first day, and the second day is a Machloikis. Second day is inside a Machloikis, and therefore you're supposed to be, you're not supposed to start with brachas lahakol, don't make a bracha on it. You yoitza, but you don't make the bracha. It's not the bracha.
On the second day, you say.
I never understood why it is that on the second day you don't say Shirach Yonu. Because it's
Because it's on the L'kicha. You did it already. It's not on the Yom Tiv. You did the Masa of L'kaya. It's finished. You did it already.
It's a good question. I think the Vart is that Lulav is not connected to the Yom Tiv. Lulav is the physical first day of the month, the calendar, Tes Vav.
What?
It's Tes Vav. Lulav, Chametz, right? Let's say an example, Chametz. Is Chametz connected to Yom Tiv?
Sure.
No, it's even on Cholamayit, right?
What?
It's even on Cholamayit. Connected to Pesach.
When you say Yom Tov, you mean the Chag.
Yeah, I'm saying is that Lulav is connected to the physical day of Tes Vav Tishrei, regardless whether it's a Yom Tov. Lu Yitzur wouldn't have a Yom Tov. Tes Vav Tishrei, Torah told us L'kat Chama Yom Rishon.
Okay, so the 16th is also Yom Tov.
So over here we see that later on Simon discusses when it comes to Lulav, do we say this concept of Sveika de Yoima for both days or not?
And
it's a machloikis about it.
Why is this different than every other Yom Tov?
Over there he explains. I have to look up the din. We were just looking it up now.
I never understood that.
Because the shaila is if they only... why do we b'chlal keep a second day Yom Tov? Because we shouldn't be mezalzel in Kedushas HaYom Tov. Mezalzel in Kedushas HaYom. We shouldn't... By the Lulav, the Lulav has nothing to do with Kedushas HaYom. It's a mitzvah in the day.
The same thing with the shofar.
So Lav Dafke, shofar is a mitzvah mitzvah the Kedusha of Rosh Hashanah. It's a mitzvah of Rosh Hashanah.
Same thing with the Lulav.
Lulav, you can, even a Chol Hamoed you take Lulav, right? In the Beis Hamikdash you have to take even a Chol Hamoed.
That's a different issue.
Right, but it's not connected. That's the shaila. The shaila is why were they kiveya a Yom Tisheni? Was it only for Kedushas Yom Tiv? Or also for all the mitzvahs of the first day? That's why why we don't say the Shechiyah. But Kopanim, it's a good question that you asked. Okay. Sif Yud Gimel. Derech Gidol. We're going to learn about some situations, not all very common things to see in Lulav. Let's try to learn a little quicker. We can maybe finish this simon of Lulav this week, and then we can go to Hadas next week. Derech Gidol HaLulav Kachu. This is the way the Lulav grows. After one leaf comes out from the spine, Miyad Kashir stays boys, but the right away with the measurement of 2 widths of your finger, of your thumb. Another one comes out. Each one grows on top of the other. An entire spine, the shedra is covered with leaves. Both sides get covered with leaves. What happens if it didn't grow that way? Only one side grew. One side grew with it. It's naked below. You just have the spine without it, like people peel it off, right? Possible if she'ein mahudr, it's an issue of mahudr. What happens if it doesn't have a lot of leaves on each side of the log? Has one, and then all the way down later on it has another little leaf. So that the top of that leaf is touching the bottom of the next leaf. They're not right next to each other. Ela mikol sad yoitzi ola echad lamato. One at each side a leaf comes out, one on the bottom. Samul chikari for oilad roishay. Apostle. Shagam zayin yehoder.
Wait. It grows and it starts with the beginning of the
Starts in the bottom and it grows all the way to the top. It's not supposed to grow that way. It's supposed to grow like they each grow on top of each other. They each grow on top of each other, and there's like a little bit to it spice.
One goes
right over here, then there's another one.
Yeah, it doesn't go over, it doesn't overlap it.
So what happens if they go all the way to the top? It's also problematic. Ein zahadar. It's not normal, right? It's not the right of the derech. Sif tezvav. V'cheinim hayel harbi all in. What happens if it had a lot of leaves? But was not they're not leaning one another. There was one underneath the other. The upper leaf is not at all leaning on the bottom leaf. If the bottom of the top of the bottom leaf reaches the bottom of the top leaf, so the whole thing is covered with Allah and it's kosher. One cannot reach the other one.
It's like short.
It's small. Ein zahadur. Sifte Zayim. We spoke about last year about using last year's lulav.
Yeah. It's yavesh.
Lulav sheyavsha. A lulav was dried up. Roiv shedrasi, the majority of the shedra. Oy sheyavsha roiv olav, or majority of the leaves dried up. Pasul she'ein zenikah hadur. But what's considered dry? You have to know what the shear of yaveshus is.
You have to know the shear of what's green.
The kama shear yaveshus apaisel. How much dryness passes the lulav? Some say that if you'll take your nail and stick it on it, it will start to crumble. Crumble. It's really dry. Some say it lost all its green. It became like white. That's called dry. Even though it's not crumbling when you put your nail on it. Shizel simin, because the losing of the color of the entire lulav is a simin shekala luchas shabai. It lost its moisture.
Why isn't
The
that
halach is like the later opinion.
Why doesn't the Rebbe say how to preserve it from year to year?
It's not a book of advice, it's a book of halacha. Otherwise you have to go to the Baba.
You go to the Baba, not to the...
The halacha is like the second opinion.
That
it totally lost all its color.
Yeah, the Esrog I did one.
However, look what he says over here, like here's discussion in Europe. For example, the examples are very example which we don't understand today in our countries. We do not have a lot of lulavim in our countries. And Moshe Feinstein lived in Russia. You rely on the first shita that even though it lost all its color because it's already sitting around for a whole year, as long as it's not crumbling when you put your fingernails on it. It's still kosher.
I'm not sure. And when he said, what are you reading from? Shulchan Aruch Rav?
Yeah.
Okay, so him, both he and Rabbi Moshe Feinstein, they were living in northern Russia, where it's cold. So the lulav from last year didn't deteriorate so much.
So they might have been the Yitzhak.
So it could have been still green.
Maybe it didn't change the color either.
Yeah, maybe if you put it in water, maybe you have certain ways of preserving it. I don't know.
They used to dig caves and put the ice in there to keep
but
it.
you vacuum pack it, you preserve it perfectly.
Yeah, they had vacuum packing in those days.
You want it in the night side, that's how you do it.
Freeze dry.
Vacuum pack that?
a glass jar with a candle, and then you like blow out the candle, and then you close it.
No,
I don't know.
you put the candle in. You let the candle burn out all the air.
Yeah. And the next year, we didn't use it, but it looks good. It looks good. It stays nice.
When I was younger, I tried to do it.
Yeah.
And I stuck it in a metal can and I taped it all up and I buried it in the ground. The next year I opened it, it was such a stench came out of it. It was one big
rotten.
No,
we with a glass jar.
Taped it up.
I wasn't professional. No, it wasn't a jar, but I taped it also. I was a kid,
I was in Etzis, I was doing mitzvah mezuzah, and I came to a house, and the guy had a bottle, and in it was an Esrog, full Esrog, and he had vodka in it, and he gave us some of the vodka. He had a relative who had an Esrog Pardes, and he situated the glass bottle so that one vine should go in, and then he cut it. Once it grew, and they put in alcohol a little bit to clean it up, and then I think they put in once water, and then it kept on giving.
Giving what?
Okay, so the boy said we don't have these shilas, Baruch Hashem, today. Sif Yud Zayin. You have to finish with a ma'adir. Nikdem Roishei Posel. What happens if the top was cut off? The very top of the Esrog was cut off. Nikdem Roishei.
No, not the Esrog.
The Lulav. I'm sorry. We're back to the Lulav. Yeah, Nikdem Roishei Posel. She'ein Zahadar. It's not Hadar. Ve'ezu Roishei. What does it mean, Roishei? What does it mean, the top of the Lulav? Zeh Allah ha'elyon amtzai, the middle leaf, shul gavayim, which is higher than all the other leaves. Vim Allah zeh, this leaf, nikdem beroishai, it was cut off. Afilu kol shivan, a little bit puzzle. V'yeshai, remember however others say, sheni puzzle am kain nikdem roiv arkei she'ela zeh elyon. Only if majority was cut. We should be machmer like the Svara Rishoyin, like the first opinion, that even a little bit is a puzzle. Mikomak is still b'shas at chak she'ef shalim silulacher. You can't find another lulav. Yishlis mechasvara l'chayina. You can rely on the second opinion, and even, as long as the majority is not cut off, it's good. And even you can make a bracha. Mutalavarech alul sheniktem miut she'ala elyon. You can make a bracha. Aval miktem rubai. If majority of the middle leaf was cut. In Levarach alav ifil b'shatat chak. Even b'shatat chak you can't make a bracha. And l'kein b'makim shenoig in Levarach al kol apsulim gemurim shatat chak yizbar b'simin tafresh memtes. There's a sheet that we're going to learn about later on. Tafresh memtes, that even things are mamish puzzle, but if shatat chak you have no other lulav, you're allowed to make a bracha on them. Because shalei tishtakach toyers esed Yisrael. Because Chazal made a takana according to that shita, that even if it's 100% puzzle, but mitzad midrabanan shalei tishtakach toyers Eretz Yisrael esed Eretz Yisrael, you're going to go for a tkufa. You're not going to take any lulav and esrog, a whole sukkis. You mishtakach toyers Eretz Yisrael. So therefore, according to that shita, however, the other shita says that no. Since it's only a zeicher, you don't make the bracha. We'll talk about this in Mitzvah later, if we hopefully get there. Mice is not negaya to us, these shilas.
Problem in China when in World War II.
And the refugees were there.
Yeah, they were no Esrogim.
But here we're talking about you have an esrog just as possible, but if you don't have any esrog, you can't make a bracha on the air, you know? Can't take another plant. Can't take the lemon. Sif Yud Ches. You have thorns coming out, like it's thorny. V'chein nitzmatz, v'nikvatz. Who knows how to translate these words?
What?
Shrunken.
Shrunken. V'chein nitzmat.
Nitzmat. But that's dried up. Shriveled, yeah.
V'nichvatz. V'nechvatz. Shrunk.
Burned.
V'nechvatz.
That's burned, yeah.
What's kvitza? V'chein nekam lefonav. Also the bent over in front. And tzad shekeneged ashidra. nekam v'nichbach at shenas shidrasi kegag val chatayteres puzzle.
What does that mean?
If it becomes bent over totally, right? Like someone has a hunchback.
Yeah.
Hunchback, a bench.
Ain't a hodder. If the shidra went down so much. So too if it bent over to one of the sides.
Sideways.
Also that much, it's possible. However, lulav in general, always leaning. When you have a lulav, it's not straight up. Most of the time it does lean towards the back, right? Towards the back of the lulav. And shidra say nekma menichba b'emtza l'tzad panav kosher. That's normal. That's adrabah. That's hiddur. That's derech. Derech of the lulav is that it's bent over that way. But if it's bent over the other way towards you, when you're holding it, it's bent towards you. That's when it's problematic. This is talking about when it's bent over in the middle. Bein shenich b'baltzad pana, bein shenich b'baltzad achoyra, pasul. She'ein ze hiddur.
Who's ke'egmon?
What does the egmoin mean?
Yeah, what is it? It's comparing it to what?
Come on. It's like a reed in the river.
It seems like basically like this. If there's something called bent over, when something's bent over, and then there is when it's mamish like folds over. If mamish folds over, then it's possible no matter which direction it folds. That's not normal. A lulav doesn't grow even towards the back when it goes just
Too much.
It just slightly bends over.
Slightly over. Here it's all the way like this.
Yeah, then it's possible. This is only when the actual spine is bent over. The leaves alone are bent over. Even the middle leaf itself bent over. And it's a kosher. How yesh pais and some hold this possible. Even a little bit they're bent over. אבל אם הוא בשעס את חג שיאפשר למצוא לוב אחר, יש לסמך על סבר ראשונה.
You see here inside the K, the note, he says Chabad, Minig, Lulav, Shein Lulav, Knaplach. A lot of Jews consider that a hiddur.
Right.
I was like lucky a couple of years that I got it's nice and it's tight.
Tight finish.
Well,
Yeah.
there's two things. There is the fact that the whole entire top is closed, and then there is the fact that it bends over.
A little.
No, they have bent like twirl on the top. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's like a screw. Yeah.
So in Chabad the meaning is not to do it, and Mechor it's based on a hiddur in this sif, and it shouldn't be kafuf, because here he says, if majority of the leaves of the lulav are kafuf, but Hashem afilu kol it's bent over, it's a problem.
The top.
But other people are not makbid. They're dafke. They're not makbid.
Yeah, people even go, oh, you have that. So look, you don't find it too much.
However, Avlim Yushas at Chak, Shiaf Shalim say lulav acher. However, if it's a shas at Chak, you can't find the lulav. You can rely on the first opinion that says that it's okay if the leaves go that way, even if it's majority, as long as it's not the shedra, just the leaves. According to that opinion, shas at Chak, you're allowed to make a bracha even all the leaves are bent over. If it's not easy to find another lulav, then anyways from the second day Yom Tif, where there's no more an inyan of Lakicha Tama, it can be Mekel. It's not Mitzvah Lakicha Tama, I'm sorry, because it's only with the Rabbanon. Only the first day is Minat Torah. L'kachtem lechem b'yom harishin. In the Beis Hamikdash, they used to take Samachtem L'fnei Hashem L'kechem Shivas Yom every day a little bit esrog. In Goyla, originally they'd only take one. V'yechem Azake was Masakin, that every day in Goyla to remember Zeicher L'mikdash, you should take every day. So that's what we take every day. But Minat Torah only the first day. So the second day and on is only Mitzvah. So therefore, for the Yom Sheni and on, even if it's not B'Shas Chak, you can't find another lulav you can be makel. This is only talking about when only the top of the leaves are bent over. We're not bent over. We're bent over. Most of the leaf was not bent over. If the leaves, even if the shedra is good, but the actual leaves bent over a lot till the middle, looks like it bent over into two. It's not hadar at all. So the Maisa, just to Mesakim, before we go to Ma'ariv, and then practically speaking, halacha l'maisa, that a person, l'chatchila, has to look for a lulav that the middle leaf is entirely closed entirely. V'di'evid, if you bought a leaf which is open, which the middle leaf is open a little bit, open a bit, it's still kosher. But l'chatchila, you should only buy which is fully closed. After the second day of Sukkot, it's not at all. It's okay b'chlal if your leaf is split. It can be split all the way, the middle leaf, after the second day, because you can make a brach on it. Because it's the only issues mitzad l'kichatama, l'kachtem chazal v'deresh l'kichatama, which only applicable. This Indian is only applicable on l'kachtem b'yemarishin, and according to some sheets, it's the second day as well. Another thing to look out for as a mitzvah namubchar is that the leaves of the lulav, the leaves on the side of the lulav, should be leaning on the spine. They should not be spread out. That's a mitzvah namubchar. That, practically speaking, that's what's negayah the most.
This one's with the show you kind. Every day was with the rice or
every year?
Only in the Beis Hamikdash.
With the rice. Where's the how do you know that it's referred
I think it's with the rice. I have to look it up again.
I'll talk about there's a brown